This one's by Will Ogilvie. He was a British guy who came out and worked in Australia for a while, wrote bush poetry, went back to Old Blighty to retire, and he wrote this one about his hats. So I've got a few here to go through. So this one starts off, and again, there's a bit of cheating. The hats of a man may be many in the course of a varied career, and some have been worth not a penny, and some have been devilish dear. But there's one I'll always remember when sitting alone by the fire in the depths of a northern November, because it fulfilled my desire. It was old, it was ragged and rotten, and many years out of the mode, like a thing that a tramp had forgotten and left by the side of the road. The boughs of the mulga had torn it, its ribbon was naught but a lace. An old swaggy would not have worn it without a sad smile on his face. When I took off the lid to the ladies, it was rather with sorrow than swank, and often I wished it in Hades, when the gesture drew only a blank, but for swatting a fly on the tucker, or lifting a quart from the fire. This is the best one. Or belting the ribs of a bucker, it was all that a man could desire, when it ought to have gone to the cleaners, and stayed there, as somebody said. It was handy for flogging the weaners from the drafting yard into the shed. And oft it served as a dish for a kelpie in need of a drink. It was all that a fellow could wish for, in many more ways than you'd think. It was spotted and stained by the weather. There was more than one hole in the crown, and it made little difference whether the rim was turned up or turned down. It kept out the rain in a fashion. It kept off the sun, more or less, but it merely commanded compassion, considered as part of one's dress. Though it wasn't a hat you would bolt with, or be anxious to borrow or hire, it was useful to blindfold a colt with, or handle a bit of barbed wire. Though the world may have thought it improper to wear such old rubbish as that, I'd have scorned the best London-made topper in exchange for my old battered hat. Thanks, Roscoe. It saved my head from the car boot 3 times so far. Cheers.